How are you, bro?
I'm living the dream, man. Really, I'm living the dream.
So, on the real though, you're living the dream. A couple of days ago, not even a couple of days ago, I can't believe it's been 21 days. You know, more than 21 days. Actually, I've lost count. You're growing facial hair more than you've ever had. And at the time, actually, funny enough for you, it almost feels like a train that was like stopped on the go because like you were doing so much, you were busy with so much, and then suddenly like you had to slow down.
2020 is jealous. You know, 2020 was going so well, Nanyan, man. Like currently, I have 2 films on the big screen.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're not allowed to go to cinema.
Yeah.
I have a series. I have a series every Thursday on Mnet called Still Breathing. I have a Nigerian film coming out. I have an Afrikaans film coming out. For me, it's been, as a Lloyd, I'm going to say this. The way 2020 was going, I don't think I could have kept that pace up for 12 months.
I want to talk a little bit about how your journey started.
Yeah.
And I also want to talk about how it feels now to like be on the cover of Men's Health and have like a connecting beard, bro.
The thing is, I think the love that I wanted was love locally. Like I was doing a lot of international work. I was gigging international, like at one point I got awarded IMDb, like most 25 top working South African actors working overseas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And South Africans didn't know that, So I think now I just wanted more local love. Yes, I think this is going to sound like a weird comment, but the feedback I've been getting has been so overwhelming that sometimes I tear up when I'm alone.
Yeah.
But I've just wanted to, I didn't want to be the guy who was just controversial and funny. I just wanted to be the talented guy. And all of this was my goal. And I think this year was when it started coming together.
I want to find out, like, how did you get into this whole thing? Like at age 8, you'd find, for instance, someone just decided to take you to an audition. And for when you didn't know, but I'm even here. That's what happened in my first audition. I didn't know I was going to an audition, right? How did it happen for you?
See, in when I was in grade 1, first week, my mother was called into a meeting. Boom! Got to her. He's disruptive, he's loud, he's opinionated, high energy. We recommend you put him on Ritalin. And thank goodness my mother was a principal.
Yeah.
For 33 years. My mother said, my mother said, I will put him in sport and I'll put him in speech and drama.
Yeah.
And that's when my life changed.
So you go overseas, you're shooting all of these ads. Yeah? Now, I want to kind of understand the societal impact that it has on you, because you are this guy who was doing sports escaler. You are this guy doing home ec as well. You're doing a number of different things. But now you've traveled the world, you're doing ads. People know at school that you're the guy who's doing things in front of camera. How does that affect your life?
Yeah, the best thing that I ever had in my life was a very Xhosa mother who was a principal. So when you walk through that front door, the dishes are waiting.
Yeah.
Don't backchat.
Yeah.
I think she really grounded me. And I think I only was able to realize it in my adult years, because my mother and I clashed when I was young. Because I was like, I'm traveling the world. I'm making money.
Yeah.
You want me to do it, Zika? You want me to do the dishes? What? So there's got to find that balance. And my mother really made it quite straightforward that
you had gone acting, you had traveled the world, you had gone theater now because of circumstances, you were swimming, and then suddenly comedian. And I remember that came completely out of nowhere.
let me tell you what happened. There was a comedian who told me that you'll never be able to do it. I won't mention his name. He
Yeah.
told me you will never do it. You don't have the balls to do it.
Yeah.
And he told me that. And then a friend of mine who lives in New York, in LA now, a very good friend of mine, saw me in a show, in a stage show. Came to me afterwards and said, let's get you in stand-up comedy. And I was like, okay, let's go.
What was that like? Just purely like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it because I can. Oganye, was there like a deep innate hunger, or was there something that you saw? Because I remember at the time there was Kola was killing it already. Trevor Noah had just done the second day Walker. I remember a lot of guys were actually coming out at the time. You know, Kagiso Ledika was still on circuit, and like you weren't entering like the space that was just like with no one. It was highly competitive, and you decided to enter that space not only as like a talent, but also you were producing some shows.
You know, look, the thing about comedy, I don't want to be a comedian. I never wanted to be a comedian. I knew that what I was doing, I could forge my own path. And forge my own path, the ambition is not to be a comedian. The ambition is that I wanted to create my own shows and open up a different new audience. I'm a corporate comedian. Right?
Okay.
I'm a corporate comedian.
And what's the difference between a corporate comedian and a normal comedian?
I haven't done a club gig in 3 years. Like, what I do, I go to Sun City, there'll be 3,000 people, 2,000 people. I'll MC, I'll do my thing. There'll be events, like events with like, you know, like corporate events, end of the year functions. That's my thing, bro. That's my
yeah. But what's the difference? Because I might be watching you right now going, you know what, I want to be a comedian, you know? And there's a distinct difference because I think also, even in DJ, for instance, there's the guys who play at the clubs, there's the guys who do both, there's the guys who do the other. As a comedian, like, what is the difference?
Okay, so for example, I don't do the big shows. What I know is that you give me a mic, you give me an audience, you let me MC, I will hold them for 5 hours of the day. They'll eat up my palm of my hands. Or if you pay me enough, I'll do a 12-hour day, right?
Yeah.
The thing there is that not every comedian can be on a stage, not talk about vagina, not swear, not offend. And a lot of comedians, they go, please, no Jewish jokes. The CEO's Jewish. Jump on. First joke. Ha! Ha! Hitler! Ha! Ha!
Gone.
And it's about respecting the art of it. It's an art. And you must respect the art.
On social media platforms, you have a different persona. Let's talk about that a bit. And when I say different persona, I'm not saying you're different from your true self, but you're not what everyone expects you to be.
You know, the social media, social media, I don't believe that truth needs to be sacrificed when positivity needs to be gotten as well. So I don't believe in sacrificing truth. I'm in your face. I'll speak my truth because for me, the easiest way to be consistent is not lie. You don't have to remember what your lie is. I think what you say, I'm very passionate. I'm very, 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 very passionate about things that I put across. And I think I'm flawed. I'm flawed. And I think people who gravitate towards me because I'm admittant of my flaws. You know, that I am a flawed individual who's striving to be better.
I want to talk about sexuality. I want to talk about the GBV movement as well. And starting with sexuality, I know for you it doesn't matter, right? I want to understand from you, like, in terms of the leadership in the country, what are your feelings, like, where we're at as a country in terms of accepting other human beings for who they really are?
Do you know that our biggest celebrity in this country at the moment is a gay man?
So Ngesi.
who got married and has a show about his marriage and his sexuality, and you realize that even though our biggest celebrity is a gay man, homophobes see Somizi as just a person. So they can still be homophobic, right? But it's like they don't see Somizi's sexuality about Somizi, but they're still problematic individuals.
Yeah.
And for me, I see a lot of homophobia from females, which it's like, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
You know, a group of people who are being objectified and oppressed are able to oppress. It's the same as white gay people who are racist. Huh? How?
Well, we could say the same thing about patriarchy, bro.
I find it all schematic. So for me, when my life changed, I played rugby for an all-gay rugby team in the States. And I arrived there, and I, as Siv Ngesi, thought I would be better than them because I was straight. And then I arrived, I was better than them, but I wasn't better than them because I was straight. I was better than them because I grew up in a rugby community.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because you were black.
No. But we won the league that year. The most supportive group of men who I've ever met. And I've never felt safer. And because when you're in the rugby field, you need to feel safe. And I've never felt so safe and protected than I was when I was in the rugby field with those men. And it opened up my eyes. It really did. And I've seen the world from a different point of view. I'm the biggest ally possible, and I love my gay brothers and sisters, trans, whatever you are. I don't really care, and I'll protect them forever.
Bro, I appreciate the passion that you speak on it with. You know, I must note that even us having this conversation right now, I'm sometimes very mindful of the fact that I think we speak from a point of privilege as men. One, we have a lot of advantages, too many, in fact. And with that being said, though, what I really love is that you're always trying to like balance out the scales. Even now in the pandemic, you mentioned coronavirus and how when it's done, the real stats will come out around GBV and so forth. But even there, you also have a plight right now to try and balance the scales. You're on a pad drive right now as well. There are women in our society currently who are having to pick between a loaf of bread or pads. Now, the injustice and dignity of that is just not comprehensible as a man. We can't understand that you have to pick between eating or dignity. It's just disgusting and it's horrible. So for me, our women now, if our women are struggling to eat, that means they have no money for food. Meaning, if they don't have no money for food in their families, there's no way they're putting a pad or a tampon between their legs. And this is 2020. And I believe that if men bled once a month, something will be done about this and it will be fixed. So for me, currently, I checked this morning, we're on 26,000 Rand. And it's been 2 days. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And
incredible.
It's incredible, and we're gonna buy tons and tons of it. I really want to fight this thing, man.
Let's take our first question. It comes from Mbagi, funny enough, you know. And she asks, what's your current, like not current, but what's your biggest career regret?
My biggest career regret, and she's always on my ass about this. I should have left the country long ago.
Yeah.
I should have left long ago. I should have made the move to LA and New York long ago. I should have left.
How do you handle feedback in your craft?
I'm on a mission of self-bettering myself. I want to be better.
Yeah.
I love feedback that helps me be better.
Yeah.
I love it. So for me, I take it in. Initially, it burns. But yes, you know what I've learned is that it's always easier to give input from outside in. It's always for me, for example, when I watch, it's always easier.
Yeah.
And I realize it's the same way when you're in a room with a client.
Yeah.
They can give feedback because we're looking from outside.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I know it's not because they're better than me or they know more than me. It's because they're looking from an outside eye.
If I am an artist right now in the field, like, what advice would you have given me if you knew that this was going to happen in 2020? What advice would you have given yourself 10 years ago, 5 years ago, before this happened, to say, Siv, get this sorted, get that sorted, get that sorted? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be very harsh. I'm going to be very, very harsh. I think coronavirus is definitely going to do some spring cleaning in the industry. It'll do some spring cleaning in your industry.
Absolutely, it already has.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's doing some spring cleaning? Spring clean the whole thing.
It's going to spring clean a lot. It's going to get rid of the people who've been undercutting artists, people who've been cuck, but just are in there trying to make it through. But unfortunately in that, it's going to get rid of a lot of talented people, because a lot of talented people aren't the best of business people, right?
Yeah. And
so my biggest question is, Lloyd, it's been 4 weeks. Yeah. If you're struggling to feed yourself now, I'm not talking about poor people. I'm talking about middle class up. If you can't survive now, what were you doing that you can't survive for 4 weeks, right? Middle class up. I mean, in our industry. So for me, I always say when I get a job, I divide the money by 30, right? And I have to have the capabilities of living off that per day, right? Yeah. That's what I do in my mind, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of performers are not used, because we get paid in large sums, right? And a lot of it's new money. They don't know how to spend it, right? And I think it's a big, big problem. And I think, especially, I'm talking about our people, right? Yeah. Especially our people. It's very difficult to be able to, you get such large sums of money, you spend and you buy things that you never had, and you don't invest in things that you should, actually be putting your money towards.
B Timeless is saying, what advice would you give a 9-year-old Siv of today, given the ruthless social media, given how ruthless social media is now?
Yazi, in my late 20s, I learned something that was the best lesson I've ever learned, and that is, whatever people think of you has got nothing to do with you. People's opinions do not affect you. And lastly, lions don't care what sheep think, and pigeons don't fly with eagles. Eagles fly up there. You don't care what pigeons think. Eagles don't care what pigeons think.
3 things that you want to quickly leave with us that have kept you centered and mindful throughout this process.
Productivity.
Yeah.
Because you can't spend 5 weeks doing nothing. Have you ever tried not to start your car for 5 weeks? We'll see. I have honestly been trying to help as many people as financially possible. Yeah. I've been trying to use every skill that I have to help people out there.
Yeah.
And I have honestly been trying to put out on social media, people need to realize that people are starving. I think I've been trying to make sure that the realness of it is out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I've just been trying to improve myself, man. I have flaws that I need to fix, and I need the flaws that I need to improve. And there's been a lot of self-reflecting that I've done, and I need to just continue to be a better version of myself every day.
I'm really proud of you, bro. And guys, as you tune in, please go check out Siv's page. There's a drive that he has right now. We are putting our shoulder to the wheel to collect as much money as possible to help the underprivileged during this time. Dude, thank you once again. Sure, and shout out to everyone for tuning in, man. To have an awesome rest of your evening, bro.
Sure, guys. Have a great day.